Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. Nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami, a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy i musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom. To jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni. Nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.
Witamy wszystkich bardzo serdecznie na 417 warsztatach poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim. W niedzielę 22 listopada 2020 roku, a tematem jest kontynuacja 354 warsztatu, a czas przetłumaczony na dzisiaj to jest od godziny 48 minut do 2:01, od 2:13 do 2:27, od 2:29 do 2:50, od 2:56 do 3:19 i ostatni fragment do 3:35 do 3:50. Tam są niektóre fragmenty, niektóre przerwy, krótkie dosyć, także to jest taka jakby posiekana część, ale nie ma dużo tutaj jakby przerw. Tak więc zapraszam do obejrzenia, a po warsztacie do rozmów, zadawania pytań, na które postaramy się odpowiedzieć. Tak więc słuchamy.
I'm going to tell you something very strange, but the truth. And it might be a shock to many of you. Even belief, a religion, believe in a religion, accepting a religion has a field strength, has an emotional strength. Then would we, with the knowledge we carry in the enhancement units, be able to raise the level of the soul of the man in the emotion of religion to all be equal? Then would we get rid of all these prejudices? Would they all walk out of the system as believer in the Creator and the path of no religion, but totality of religions? When I explain how fundamental the enhancement technology is, now you might understand. I can even reach the soul, the strength of the field of your emotion of religion, path of belief, path of life. Then maybe you understand how fundamental the new systems are. They are groundbreaking through technologies, and we are reaching to the point of being able, as we make you happy, we can elevate for you to understand the strength of your emotion at the level of belief. The reality and the truth is simple. In finding out, you go in as a Christian and you come a believer of every other path to be equal. Wouldn't that put a fright amongst the religious leaders, as everyone is equal? And then the churches and the mosque have to open up just to show and teach the path of the Creator. No moons and no crosses over the building. The true house of God. The true house of knowledge, where the true knowledge is taught as a knowledge seeker. Soon, mankind will go to the churches and the mosques to learn the knowledge of creation, not the path of division, but path of a man. All these structures set up by humanity in different names and colors will become the property of the Creator to teach his knowledge. As they used to believe in that house of temple without a statue, now they change to the house and temple of knowledge. As Aza wrote in one of her private messages, the religious leaders in Iran, now they're scientists. They have PhD in physics and biology, but they have become religious leaders. And now you can imagine they put the religion aside and teach the medicine in a new way of what we call new generation of science. it'll be a waste of time to demolish all these structures which has been built by man to worship an imaginary statue in the name of the creator, where before they used to have a statue and they used to worship in the same buildings. The big statue has been changed with the cross on the man. Otherwise, again, it's the same temple of worship of a statue. Be it the moon, be it the Star of David, be it any other language. We have changed a bigger thing to a symbol which we remember that symbol and we carry in our heart. In a way, those who understood, they changed the image from the shape of a statue to remember to the symbol that's easy to remember and you can control. Isn't it time that these houses of worship to become the houses of knowledge? And the whole mankind become the seeker of the knowledge of the Creator without the division of the color, race, or religion. We go to a Muslim mosque because the priest in that mosque is a physicist and he can explain more of the physics of the creation. And we go to another church because the priest is a medical doctor and he can explain more in depth the knowledge of it. We still keep the trust in the building, and with it we keep the trust in the creation and the Creator. Wouldn't it be time when over every church, mosque and temple will rise the house of knowledge for knowledge seekers, the true seekers of the knowledge of the creation. As by then we have found the position of our soul and we have elevated to understand the knowledge and the operation of that soul in all dimensions of this physical dimension in the universe. We go to a synagogue because the rabbi has been and understand the position of the soul of the man in physical dimension in a specific position in the universe we are interested to go to. It's time not to burn down the churches and the mosques and the temples, but erect them to be the houses of knowledge, the true knowledge of the Creator. Then there'll be no religion except the righteousness to understand the knowledge of the creation. Not only for the dimension of physicality, but in the dimension of the soul of the man. Any other question?
Yes, we've got Antonio next. Go ahead, Antonio.
Good morning, Mr. Keshe. I knew this man who's passed on, God bless his soul, and he recounted when he was young that he could see the patterns in the wind, where most people will feel the wind. He could see patterns in the wind. Anyway, this man, he became known as Ben the Baptist because he was like a prophet and was announcing a coming of a teacher. But he gave me a soul experience on several occasions. So when you talk about the soul, I think that it's a time that you're saying that mankind, I think we are ready. We're ready for this self-realization of knowing who we are. And even the leaders in the world, such as the queens and the popes, they must know all this is about to happen, but they say nothing. Perhaps I think it's probably a good thing, because if the Pope said that, say, for example, the Christ was in the world, then people would believe him. I don't think that would be a good thing. People have to find out for themselves through their soul that, you know, that this may be true. And I believe that when the time comes, all the church bells will be ringing in joy that we're finally moving to that next step of understanding who we are and the knowledge of the universe. And I wrote in the Q&A that there is no religion higher than truth, and only the soul would understand that.
The beauty with this cycle of understanding is that we not only understand the strength of the fields or what is made of, but as man is physical, we have developed technologies that the man can follow and see and believe in and understand. This is the beauty with this process, that we don't ask you to follow it blindly. We ask you with your knowledge to be part of it because it's part of you. And this is the beauty with the new cycle. You are part of it. You become part of the path. You become part of what you call religion. You become part of what we say, marching, walking the path. This is the beauty with this cycle. Is not somebody who made the GANs for me to survive the corona. I made it myself. And so because of it, I see the effect of it. I believe in it in totality, because I was the creator of it, understanding the knowledge. Then we'll see, we do not believe, we don't want to believe, we don't want to accept that there is something somewhere that I don't understand. In a way, we become the believer in ourselves. And in so many ways, as long as we do not stray from the path and don't become arrogant, we will become a knowledge seeker. We still follow the same path. We still will eat from the same cup, but this time we drink from the cup of the knowledge of the universe. And when the mankind reaches that point, mankind truly is matured. And in so many ways, as I said, I'm a friend. And I stay a friend. It's for you to choose to be a friend. And a friend shares, supports, and gives. Where in ownership of, claim of ownership of, has been the cause of the problem for man. I ask and I'm given. And when I'm given, I have the right to live the life as I've chosen the new path with what I've given. And this is what the mankind has to realize. And the sooner we reach this point, the sooner mankind reaches peace, not only with himself, but with the soul of the creation, which he is part of.
Thank you for the beautiful teachings, Mr. Keshe. Thank you.
I hope mankind will be wise to it, to the users for bringing peace and tranquility to the race.
Not getting the microphone open there for some reason.
So you can't hear me? Now
yes. Now we can hear you. Yes.
Ah, okay. So I was speaking alone. So we need a new societal model based on knowledge. How it will look like, and if we can introduce in this societal model also the art which work with the soul, and the soul of physicality and the soul of the man. And what will be the role of Keshe Foundation of putting together the art and the knowledge and the spirituality beside religions and politics? This school of mysteries which we had before religions. I mean,
the truth or part of the reality will dawn on mankind that through the knowledge, whatever you might call it, will be answered. In a way, we don't find an answer for religion, but becoming knowledgeable, we find religion to be part of what we've been looking for, or part of what we've been told in different names and shapes and forms. In a way, if you look at it, religion is a science itself in the conduct of the man, and nothing else.
okay. But we know that the religion leaders divided the mankind like the political leaders did and does. How we can change this situation with the help of Keshe Foundation?
We are not answer to all. We are a path of understanding knowledge. It's the mankind who has to decide what it fits, to where it fits, and the way it fits him, to suit him, to make his life better in all dimensions. If we make the work and the knowledge we dispense to be the answer to everything, and we claim it, then we have put limitation on the strength of the growth of the soul of the man and the universe. We teach for man to evaluate and elevate his own soul with it and the others. When a man goes for a knowledge through the Keshe Foundation to elevate his own soul, that man has already lost the knowledge. When we gain the knowledge, is to share, to elevate the others. And when we learn this, doesn't matter in what field of the science, what field of the knowledge of understanding, then we have become the true knowledge seeker. So, when you ask me what's the role of the Keshe Foundation, the role of the Keshe Foundation is one thing, for man to understand the true knowledge, and with it become servant to his own creator. We are not making a bunch of religious people. We are making a bunch of souls which understand the path to the elevation of itself, which is by servitude. And then, do you need politics or do you need religion? None. Because you live the path, the true path of the religion, the true path of a correct conduct of the soul. That is, if you want to call it, the function of the Keshe Foundation. For man to understand the true knowledge, become a true knowledge seeker. Then you have no one to confirm to be a prophet, a priest, or a politician.
Thank you. Your ideas are very similar to Baha'u'llah, other messenger of God from Iran. And I know that many Baha'is are persecuted in Iran. And maybe knowledge seeker could be also persecuted from other religions or political leaders in the future because of our belief in truth and in unity of mankind, because they want power only to by dividing us. You can have you can be powerful if you unite people in their perspective and their approach. So my question is, maybe we can have spiritual schools working together with
once we go back to the spiritual schools, we create another religion. We create another division.
Mm-hmm.
If man understands the knowledge, he will have the path to what he wants to know at a time when he needs the knowledge. Knowing where to go, knowing what to do, and understanding what are the consequences of the knowledge he gains. It's a simplicity in understanding the totality and not being prejudiced about it. This is the biggest conflict for mankind. We see it now in the position of the world leader. Haven't seen it before. If I'm not elected, I start everything else to be wrong because people don't like me. And I cannot be rejected. Because I tried everything. I even tried to give myself a Nobel Peace Prize to be the, but what happened? And on the other hand, if you look at what supposedly to be the elected new leader, he himself during his time as a vice president been involved in one of the largest number of killings around the world. Both don't have a clean sheet. Does not matter what they claim. We have never seen so much murder and mayhem than during Obama's time. Which one do we accept? The one who wants to start a war to stay in power, or the one who has already created so many wars? When you are a vice president, you're as powerful as the president, but in the background. When I meet with the world leaders, we usually meet with their vice presidents. Then you meet normally the wife of president. And then if the wife likes it, you see the husband, which is the president. When we enter negotiations, the vice has more say than the president, unless somebody inside the household of the president takes you in. His approval and the decision maker too. Vice presidents are some of the most powerful men in the structure. You have a chairman and you have a CEO. CEO is the one who carries the work. Chairman who just talk. President is a chairman and CEO is a vice president. So if we have seen such a huge amount of killing in the 8 years operation of Obama, has the president to be no say in it? Or has it changed to be sweetened in the time to be elected? This is one of my fears. And then do we need religious leaders or governmental leaders? If we can govern ourselves, do we need to have others to govern us? We can't have the social structure like communist time. It does not work because some who are on top benefit too much and those at the bottom get hardly any. But somewhere between the two is a remedy for mankind. Till mankind matures, it doesn't depend on physicality.
I see. It's clear now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are sitting on the verge of a time bomb in different directions, and maybe this is one of the signs of time of the maturity of the man, for him to make a decision. Do we call and work upon the call of the religious leaders to start wars and separation? Or do we go with the instruction of the world leaders to start wars and everything else? Or do we say enough is enough? We had both of both. Now we make science and technology and knowledge the leaders of mankind. Any other question?
Okay, thank you. We have Dean with the hand up, and there's a couple of questions from the YouTube that I'd like to ask as well.
Can I announce something that next Monday teaching with Iran, Farsi language, is their guest is the Chinese community. And everyone welcome to it. It's as usual, 6:30 Central European Time every Monday. And this week we have the pleasure of hearing from Chao with what we call the corona situation in China and in Iran. And it'll be a welcome party as my love sits with both nations. In so many ways, we should be able to see something beautiful in how the Chinese share knowledge with us. And the following week, the Persian language KF goes to China. This is very good in these interactions, as the normal translation of the teaching has found no room at the moment, because learning from other cultures and nationalities, what they've done with the Keshe Foundation and the knowledge, is more interesting to some. But the organizers of these teachings have to make time that the teachings can be translated, maybe by additional, when you have guests, do a translation session separately that people can follow the teaching, they don't fall behind. On the other hand, it's beautiful to see that the knowledge is getting shared so openly, and it's amazing that knowledge seekers of the countries, people who come in for the first time or have been there, they see there are other people, they're not limited to them. It's not just them and one cup of life or whatever. Open their eyes to a lot of things. And it'll be interesting to see how the knowledge seekers develop this into one national, international structure. Then it'll be interesting to see how knowledge seekers will bring a lot of new dimensions into it. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Mr. Keshe. Dean here from the UK.
No problem. You're a traveler of the planet, huh?
Yes, indeed.
No problem. Ask.
Right, Mr. Keshe. So, we've been speaking about religion, and what is it that what field strength unifies and carries forth from mankind? When mankind loses his coat, when mankind, as you rightly say, when the bird is free from the cage, what field strength can man take with him as an emotion? Are emotions carried
All
forward?
of it.
All of it.
All of it is the fingerprint of your existence.
Okay.
When we appear in a dimension and time, we remember all of it. And very recently, I was explaining this to a knowledge seeker. I remember I was explaining, I spent many years in the desert under one palm tree and a water well. I spent long, tens of years there in solitude, to move when the time is right. It's the essence of, and the reason for that is in that time, there was a lot of contemplation and elevation to understand how to teach the man. This stay in the desert was one of the most joyful times. As I said, we carry all of it. It depends in what we choose to remember, in what we choose to be part of, and in what we choose to lead, to create, to be the creation of. I can explain very clearly to details and even tell people where to find what to confirm my correctness. Be it under a stone or be it in the depth of the rivers. They find where I left things. At the time when I was there, in thousands of years we spent time here. You do not know if you did not do. It's what we do stays with us. And what we carry is the memory of the existence of time. And as I said many times, I would witness and felt every stroke of the hammer on the nail. And I felt the bullet through the body. It is the time for mankind to understand that nothing will be lost. It's a recording, like the camera as you were in the center, that it records everything while you're not aware of. But it's recorded on the disk of the memory of the soul of the man, as the physicality is dispensable.
So, Mr. Keshe, like the sun always shines, the Creator always shines on us, and we are part of that creation.
In a way, yes. As I said, if you were in American teaching on Sunday, as Alex was teaching and showing the books, we never hid anything. We were so straightforward, right under your nose, that you decided to deny. You decided to not to be part of. When you look at the first book, what do we say? Universal Council. Meeting of the man with the universal community. Understanding the knowledge of Universal Council, universal community and the knowledge. And read, take the first book. What does it say? The title of it, the first word. The universal order of creation of matter. From the beginning we were clear about our mission and destination. You read it as a word. We meant it indeed. I never hid that what I've come here to do, to take man to the universal community, and the first book tells you on the top the universal order of creation, how everything is created in universe, not the creation of matter or the matter state of the man. I wrote, the position of the prophet of the past and the scientist is the same. But we are not prophets, we are messengers. And our message was very clear from day one. The universal order. We never hid, you were blind to it. Now you understand. We did what we said from the beginning. You could not understand. And no message has changed, it's all the same. I didn't put the creation of matter, the universal. This is how the universe works, in order of matter, state or energy. Because the book 2 is based on book 1, so it still is the universal order of creation of light, the creator, the totality. And then you have the origin of the universe, which based on the first 2 books, which means again, is the universal order.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you for the message. Thank you. That's if I feel that, like we all do, hopefully we all feel, I think we all feel that the message, we feel that message within ourselves as humanity. Whether we understand it in totality sometimes, hopefully, as you said today, that humanity will come to this position of understanding. But I thank you for the message, Mr. Keshe. Thank you.
The message is very loud and clear. The time for man to be in the village of earth is over. But to go out the rules and regulations, you have to learn, first of all, to find your soul. That is your guide. That is your tool guide. That's the one who carries the knowledge. And then if you understand that, and you understand in belief of understanding the totality, then what are you worried about? You don't need a prophet. You carry it within you. It's your soul. You have to find the strength of it that you can listen the words and its message.
It's the soul leads us, as someone said the other day, it leads us around by a nose. It seems to put us in positions of obviously knowing the physicality, and it takes us to positions when we start listening to it. It takes us to a position where of beauty and understanding of the matter states, but also it's trying to teach us this universal knowledge of the true essence of what we are, where we come from, and being part of the creation. And it's that knowing. It's that knowing from the very first moment that you come into creation. Even before you're in you take your first breath, you know, and as soon as you breathe, I know this is in the matter state and in the physical body, but you have that knowledge within you, and we all have it, and we all carry it forward, and it's just that understanding and coming to that point of stillness again, where you can actually just know, just be.
The truth is, what do we value ourselves at? And then trying to achieve that value. Doesn't matter in what level of creation. And what we value ourselves is what we get to, and what we strive to understand. And this is one of the ways that we always live. What do we value, and what we do to get to that value we believe we're worth, we need to. In the physical world, we value ourselves as a doctor so much thousand a month. But in the soul level, we don't, because we don't understand it. It's left to somebody else to tell us what it is. We have never valued our soul. How much, into what level I want to understand that through that creation of the path, I reach there. That's all it is. This is how you elevate yourself, how you access and further knowledge. But it has to be through pure sincerity and understanding.
So, Mr. Keshe, some of the religions, all the religions, there are pure intentions within the religions, within mankind, and then sometimes it just gets muddled. As I said before, the field strength of the sun, which is a ray which gives us our soul in our physical body on planet Earth. some of us have, through the knowledge, have come to understand this, but surely the religions know this truth. And as you said before, they've abused the soul of the man. But the soul of the man is so beautiful in its purity, back to the Creator, that surely it's time that the religions understood that they need to release their soul, our soul, and to be one once more.
It depends what we want to know and to what extent, and with it, what do we do with it? If we see it as our right to damage with what we received, we will get damaged by it. And the damage in our soul is not getting elevated. And you see everything to go backwards with it in a physical life. And this is part of what many people don't understand.
Why would people abuse this knowledge, knowing that you have to at some point balance your books and account for your to your soul? So you have to rebalance your own soul yourself. You only answer to yourself. So why would a physical body soul want to put itself in a position of
Because I'm kind of coming right in before you go too far. Because there is enigma put into it. Day of judgment. I can delay till that time. I go to the last day of paying the bill before, they disconnect me. You understand?
yes,
But
yes.
that is where the man has fallen in this trap. With a name, with the titlement of Day of Judgment. If the prophets would have explained every day is a judgment day, would have been a different world. And this is what we tell you. Every day, every conduct is got to be answered, not to anybody else but yourself. This is what a lot of people don't understand. You take a love from man of everything, you are, and you sit with it. It's the acceptance of asking and be given. You lose your title. You lose your right to understand the totality. And this is part of the structure of the creation. You're sitting somewhere with the clock.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, the clock, yeah.
I'm sorry about that, Mr. Keshe.
No, it's beautiful. It's the time of the man, which, what they call it, it TikToks.
Yeah, TikToks, yes. It's a 1950s clock that has got a loud TikTok, yes.
Yep. Every second is 1 second to go further, to understand more. This is part of what we call the understanding of totality. We are not a religious organization, but understanding the science brings us to question what the religions.
Hello, Mr. Keshe. You suddenly cut off there.
You got me back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm plugging this up. This is what the dilemma is with the religious groups. Now we become the priests. We become the rabbis. We become those who have the knowledge, but in a scientific way. And this is what they don't like. The Iranian religious organizations have a big problem with me. The same with the rabbis. The same with the Pope. But in essence, they know it's true. And they do not dare to do. Because they are not there to decide. They are there to confirm. And they know they don't confirm. They cannot delay to the grandchild or to the others. They have to handle and pay for it by themselves. We see huge movement in the religious world and diplomatic world about my movement, about what I do. Governments, now they are deciding in how and who and where and when I can talk. The world leaders are deciding, and the governments, on how me as an individual should do, be, or say. And now we get it in writing. It's not talk anymore.
Mr. Keshe, thank you for your dedication and everything you've done for humanity over the whole lifespan of your life. You've dedicated yourself to helping humanity to come to this position, and that's just an amazing thing that you've done, just an incredible thing you've done for humanity. It's just astonishing to me as in my physical body, with the teachings that I've gathered, the information, the field strength that you've given me through your knowledge that you've shared. Is I'd just like to thank you, and I know in the times to come that humanity will catch up.
If they don't want to be a tomato.
Yeah.
The reality, you're welcome. The reality is I came to serve. But I had to go through the process of understanding man's life, that I could see how humanity lives and what humanity does. It's the same with the structure of understanding the world of politics, understanding the world of religions. I can dismantle them from inside by themselves, not from outside by us. And this is one of the beauties of the new process. This is one of the beauties of the new understanding. I don't need to do much. I just need to teach much.
You've already taught many things, Mr. Keshe, and there's many knowledge seekers I know that have incredible depth of knowledge, and the beauty that they're starting to spread across the planet through this one magnet that came, and all the magnets are now shifting. All those field strengths are repositioning, and it's a very joyous and wonderful time to actually. When you have been involved with the foundation, you've understood the way that you have positioned yourself and everybody. It is magnificent. It's wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
The thing is, we never made hierarchy and we never made priests. We always stayed knowledge seekers, and that has been the key. That even when I teach, and if you've been to some of the teachings I go, I say, Mr. Keshe is here. I said, I'm here as a knowledge seeker. When we divide ourselves and we put ourselves on a pedestal, it's the time when it's finished. And as I said earlier on, I have moved from running daily, day-to-day basis of the Keshe Foundation to a knowledge seeker back in research. I enjoy my time in research lab. I go for a few hours and share knowledge and see the beauty which comes out of it the next days. Many knowledge seekers who work with me online in what they develop, they get the same. Sharing a knowledge is a privilege. Keeping a knowledge is end. And it's no use keeping knowledge. Once you share the knowledge, it expands, it shows its beauty, it shows its attributes, it shows its grandeur and how beautiful it is. And you can teach as long as you are there to teach and share to teach, and you go.
Yeah, Mr. Keshe, your teachings have been incredible, and the depth of it, the knowledge behind it. I know it's of creation, and I know it's from your soul, and the beauty of the way that you deliver the message with.
But don't become love and care and a lot of understanding. And when the souls understand it, the souls come to appreciate it.
Definitely feel it. It touches.
Become a sect as long as long as we don't become a cult, as long as we don't become a sect, as long as we stay a knowledge-based organization, we will win the heart and the soul of the man and the universe. When we separate ourselves to be elite and unique, that's the time where the downfall of the whole knowledge comes. And this is what I always said. Be a knowledge seeker, but don't become arrogant when by seeking knowledge you understand something new. And this is part of what we see and part of what we understand. If the people who come to get something from the foundation and they don't get it, and then they become the enemies of it, ask yourself one question. By not knowing how you have served through the what we call your ego, your arrogance, you serve more, because the souls bring you to serve, nothing else. Your own soul makes you servant. When you send so many emails, negative emails to so many world leaders, to so many places, to block, even those who haven't heard now, they want to know more. And then they hear about, for example, Corona. What do? This guy has given a solution. They go for it. In a way, by your arrogance, you have opened new doors for us. By the damage you try to do, you damage nothing. You add to. And we've seen it. And some people who come and go by what they do and what they want to prove, they serve. Serving doesn't come by making a cup of tea or giving a conference. If I make you to think if the work of the Keshe Foundation is correct or not, and then you have to judge it, And then two things. You stay, and because of it, you judged it to your own soul. You become stronger for it, and you become more attached to understanding more of it. Then you have served your purpose. Those who are weak will always fall by the side. That's been a pattern of the creation. When we used to have what I call a chicken farm, they used to give us 105 one-day chicken, because they say, okay, 5% of it will die. But we became so good looking after them that we didn't even lose one. It's understanding how to handle it, that even the others who think is a weakness in you, it becomes your strength. And this is part of the structure of understanding. This is part of what I call the knowledge of the soul. Doesn't matter what they try to do, how they translate the knowledge. Knowledge is a truth, and you are the witness to it, nobody else. We have gathered such a strength in so many governments and nations through the work of the knowledge seekers in Iran. And you saw how it has built up. In every essence, in every nation, we have a problem. We call it a corona. But how have we handled it? How have you as knowledge seekers been there to give it? And how many lives you've saved? It's beautiful. If you were in my place, I get a message from Iranian Keshe Foundation, knowledge seeker. My brother is in Washington with Corona. Can I have help? What do? We just make a call. We just put it in the public domain of the Keshe Foundation US. We need urgent help. Such a person in such a place. You don't know who it is. You don't even have got a clue what this guy looks like, or what he believes in. Is it Christian, Muslim, or whatever. Knowledge seekers, you just deliver the answers. You save the life, and what do we get? A few days later, a couple of weeks later, the same person who put the call out writes back, "Thank you very much for saving the life of my brother or my loved ones." This is what the knowledge has to be. You all share, you all accept to share. And does not matter about the time and position, is how we share is important. And if we are thankful to the knowledge, we become the part of the knowledge. And then it has a lot of meaning for us. As I said, this Keshe Foundation teaching is not just what we call cult, but we have a science and technology. You can't reach it, we show you how. You can't reach it, we have a system which can assist you. You go to the church and say, how can you help me? I have a problem with my son. Put the money in the box. I don't tell you put the money in the box, I tell you go in the box. You go into the confession box to confess whatever you've done wrong, which most probably you never see the truth of it. But due to the cancer and the rest of it, I put you in a box called enhancement unit to elevate your soul, that you see how you cannot get to the same point. Was it your problem, or was it what you created or was created? And you solve the problem for good. As I said to somebody very recently, yes, we have an enhancement unit. It's you and your soul in the box. Now see who has to pay for what. And there are no boxes to put monetary in it, because you're already in it to accept it for the change. It's beautiful if you see the other side of the coin the way we see it. Why there is so much resistance to a knowledge? Have you ever asked yourself why there is so much resistance into Keshe Foundation sharing knowledge? Isn't sharing knowledge a pleasure? Or have we in fact using the knowledge to stop the man to reach his soul? Because now we have a system, we have a technology, we have a way to show. We have understanding of not only the soul, but how to reach it through a technology, through understanding of the science of its creation. And this is what they don't like. World leaders can rise against me. Have no fear. Because it's very simple. They don't have the knowledge and understanding when you can reach their soul. I was reading a message, and maybe I can read it for you. Then you understand why and how. This gives you an insight into a lot of things if you understand it. Just let me find it. This is the message from the White House. And he writes very simply. He says, in a real talk to the White House chief of, what do you call it, staff, I had a very unpleasant conversation with a lot of yelling. The guy was shouting, the head of chief of the staff, that President Trump does not want to deal with Keshe. He is his biggest nightmare. Why a simple man has to become a man's nightmare? Because he shares peace, he shares knowledge. Why we get the same thing from another world leaders, other places, not to move, put you in danger. You're in danger. Who, why, and how do you know I'm in danger if you haven't created danger for me? Then we understand. Sharing a knowledge at this moment of time has become a big crime. And there are those who play into the wind of it because it pays them to be. A lot of people are using the Keshe Foundation and the structure we set up to do clandestine activities and clandestine things to benefit them for the future of to serve their masters. But they don't understand that these masters sooner or later become a slave to their own conduct. As I always say, I'm a friend and here to help. It's you who have to decide.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe, for the open box of the universe.
Yes, you have seen it.
Thank you. I feel it, Mr. Keshe. I think we all feel this now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Definitely Maria Teresa in the YouTube also feels it. She says, Mr. Keshe, your words touch my soul and everything I have ever believed. Religion for me should bring peace and unity, not control. Now everything makes sense and life is worth it. Thank you so much. We have where is it here? A question from Strombringer in the YouTube, who says, can you teach us a way to quickly lift the souls of our opponents? A portable system that we can easily conceal on us or hide somewhere. Thank you.
He wants a magic box.
Yes, sir. Or even smaller.
A smaller, a soul box.
Yeah.
Once man understanding of the position and strength of the soul is achieved or completed by the man himself, then you can reach any soul, because you get rid of the, what I call, physical frock of the soul of the man. And this is very difficult for many people to understand. It's very difficult for many people to comprehend beyond it. And it's very difficult for people to be part of the change when themselves come to understand that the change is within them. And we move on. We don't need to learn much, but it's a progress. It's the progress which will happen in the coming months. And the elevation of the soul of the man will come through what we call unified field forces of one soul. And that soul is to be born. Born out of the love of totality of the whole universe and not the mankind only. We give life to totality according to our understanding, the time, the position, and the destiny. And nothing can change it. For a tree to be in a forest in a given time and position has taken thousands of years for it, and accommodated by the rest of the trees in the forest. When you look at the structure of the forest, it's like the human race. Every tree in every position is well accommodated by the others to be equal and the same height in the forest. So is and will be the destiny of the man. All men will stand tall, because from now on is the knowledge of the universe and the humbleness to know that you have access to all of it will become the criterion of the living, not by hiding and ducking and claiming a seat, a temple, or a White House. And as I told you before, we have a knowledge seeker from Switzerland who joined us, a first batch of knowledge seekers in training with us. And he said, I'm Swiss. And I explained to him the color of your passport, what's on it is the true color. It's all red. If you understand it, or what you've done. He understood and he left the teaching. And in so many ways, we bring the message of peace, but for the soul of the man, not for the man. And this is the ethos of the Keshe Foundation. And a lot of people try to attach it to the physicality, but if you look at everything I have taught from the beginning, has a soul and a heartbeat of the soul. Nothing else. It's you who have chosen the wrong way, or it's you who have decided to go the way that you think might be the best for you. But one thing is for sure, we all end up on the same table of accommodating and accepting equality. And I always stand true to my own way. I'm still a knowledge seeker. Because by seeking knowledge, understand what I have created, thus that I can learn and be part of, not to be arrogant to be that I know. Ask yourself one single question. With all these fields which travel across the universe, what fields and what position today, this second, has become a seed of a star, or has become a seed of a planet that will seed into life the way we have in this, on this earth, in this position? Then that needs learning. It means a position has been created which is unknown, and understanding the creation of it becomes the knowledge of the creator. And as we understood today, the knowledge becomes the knowledge of the created instantaneously. Then you understand the present computers are finished. As I said, we will show new technologies that all these will have a meaning and understanding, because mankind is so physical, he has to have something, and then you all start copying. And in that process of trying to copy, you'll reach my station. Because this time, we are not teaching you physicality. This time, I teach you the fields. That's what I kept on telling you. Don't look at the guns, look at the fields it creates. You didn't listen? Now I found a different way to do. I'm a very good teacher, and I listen good. This is part of the structure we set. Now, with this dispensation, the knowledge, the science, and the faith become one. And this is the beauty of it. And through it, you learn. With it, you grow. And amongst it, you flourish. And this is the part of the life we have chosen, not you. I can strive and change everything with one stroke, It's within my power. This is something I know well enough. But what does it do? Take you to a scene, you'll become back again a man. Because it wasn't done by choice. It was done for you by understanding of nothing as a free gift. And this is what we're trying to avoid this time. You gift yourself, not the free gift from us. You gift yourself the knowledge, the understanding, and as you are a human, very simple. You make your systems. Because you made the systems, you believe in it and you live by it. It's very simple. We see your joys, we see your weaknesses, we encourage both of them to become their strength. So simple. I don't teach religion. I show you how to make systems, and you, all of you know, if you have found the right way, to be your own prophet, because now you can produce what you need, and you can test what conditions you can create, be it emotion, be it technology. This is the secret. We can create the soul, the structure of the soul, and it's done by you, that you're in charge and no one has charge over it. The freedom to travel this span of the universe. And those who are afraid, they're frightened of you, or make you to fear that this is wrong with the Keshe Foundation, that's wrong with this, is what it is, because they know the slavery of the man is over. By science and technology, by you understanding the science of it, and by you creating the technology for it. As I said very recently, universe is a beautiful place. This just needs the desire to be part of it. It's like a love affair. You desire to be with your loved one, you'll find a way to get there, and you find a way that when you get there, you can tell you love your lover. And this is the same. You find a way, you have to strive a way to reach, to understand your creator through the structure of the soul of the man, which is you who's made it. Now you have to understand it, and then the path is clear. And in between, we have shown you ways. Any other question?
We have Stefania with the hand up here.
Part of it. Because Rick's part is very advanced. People already in there, they're testing new things. This is actually how to make things. There is a message just been sent by the IT. It's from Zara Martin. It says, hello, Mr. Keshe. Also will test and test of the death. Quran. So we all gonna taste, and we taste this death. Even the angels of death, peace be upon him. You came here to teach the knowledge with respect, Mr. Keshe. Are you meant to be buried in Medina? We have never been buried. We live in the dimension of the soul. And our physical body is in essence of the man. And in totality, we are travelers of time. And in reality, we choose the time, the place, and the physicality which we decide to manifest ourselves within. So, is it buried in Medina? Is it still unknown where it is? Or is it buried? We don't know where it is. In either state, it's a state of the knowledge of the man and understanding of the truth. If I'm correct, what the gentleman is referring to, or the lady, is, are you the soul of Muhammad, bless his name? In physicality, the physical body always is left behind. It's the soul of the Creator which moves from dimension to dimension. And in so many times, if the Creator has spent so much time on this planet, there has been a reason. Not only for this, but for the totality of the creation. Maybe I have answered you. Souls never die. And in souls we live, we teach, and we manifest.
Beautiful answer, Mr. Keshe. I was just trying to answer his question, whether we can ask that question for him and so on. Perfect, thank you. There's one other question in the YouTube that I'd like you to answer, which from Alexander Perez, who says, hello, Mr. Keshe, I'm from Brazil. My question is, how can we connect with our freedom from physicality? How can we achieve this condition right now? Thanks.
It's all a state of mind. It's all a state of mind. And in how we decide to operate within that state of mind. In essence, we live the life through the soul, but we can choose to live in the life in the dimension of the physicality when we choose. This is the beauty of the new cycle. The beauty of the new, what we call essence of living, being part of. And then the choice is yours. It's very much, if you look, the lady in the beginning, in part of the session today, referred to part of our teaching is like the Baha'i teaching. I was brought up in a Baha'i family, but I never agreed with the ethos, the way it was changed by those who follow. In a way, as I was in it, created it, how could I understand the misconduct? And I do not agree with none of what the Baha'i faith stands for today, in what shape or form, as they have broken the agreement with the Creator to the benefit of them. In essence, this path was to guide man to freedom, and it got abused by those who thought they have reached the pinnacle of doing whatever they like. Never served what it was set and what I set it up to be. The same greed, the same misconduct, the same arrangement as before. Gather wealth and power and abuse it when the man needs to use it. And this is the same. None of the religions ever stood for what I set them up for. And the Baha'is went worse than the others in a shorter time. In a shorter time. My agreement was peace and for all. Not greed to gather and stash away like the others. Building buildings for temples from the sweat of the others was a job of the path. It was not the way we set it to be. And that has become the main. Building more temples to believe in nothing. My path does not go and has been away for years, as it's not the way we set it to be. But in ethos, the teaching is the same with all the religions, as we wrote all of them in the same way, according to the understanding and the intelligence of the man at the time and the place. Man should be strong enough to know when is wrong and the way it's done the wrong way. The word have lost their meanings in bricks and mortar, with the same as the others. The belief was to bring equality of all, has become the biggest misconduct of all. The only difference is again back in Jerusalem. Any other question? When you see a misconduct, when you see something wrong, you have to be strong enough to stand it and walk away from it. And this is what happened with me and the Baha'i faith. I walked away as a misconduct is beyond imagination, in the name and the cover of religion. Same as others. What's the next question?
Okay, we've got Caleb, who had a question in the Q&A regarding, he mentioned the word religion has been making things unnecessarily difficult for humans. Does the good sir know about the teaching of the unity of witnessing of the Ahmad Sirhindi?
Never heard of him.
Sirhindi.
Never heard of him. As I said, I'm a very illiterate man when it comes to these things. I just had the privilege to be with few prophets. The others who claim things that I don't have had no time with.
Thank you. Maria asks, Mr. Keshe, is the event that the time of dwelling for mankind is over caused by the solar lightning? Thank you. Love, Maria.
What do you want to blame it on? Blame it on. It doesn't matter. The solar flare, somebody sneezed. What is your excuse to believe in it?
Thank you. Jackie mentions the Trump Chief of Staff Meadows has tested positive for COVID-19 this week.
Yes, but they didn't tell anyone, apparently, and all shook hands with him, and everybody's in problem, as they didn't have enough problem in the White House.
Well, if you close your eyes and plug your ears, don't things just go away?
Well, apparently it does, because don't forget, these people have access to latest technologies and medicine to be helped with. Have we finished for today? We should call it a day. We're nearly 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope these teachings, which have started in understanding the emotion and the position and the presence, will start taking shape and a meaning for you in coming weeks, as you gradually start seeing the totality of the picture. You think you know everything about the physical life. Now, understanding the work of the soul is much simpler, but in a way, I made myself in the image of whatever, man, or whatever. In that process, is man to understand the truth about his own creation. And we are in that process. Not only we start teaching you we start showing you technologies which brings that to a meaningful end and to a full understanding. We are not here to elevate, we are here to make it easier for you to understand, to elevate yourself. Elevating the knowledge of the universe, and the knowledge that will change you for better. To be a better human being, to be a better soul in serving the others. And many people would not like the path, as they have to give up a lot of bad habits of the past. But in a way, at the end, we have always won, and we will win. Thank you very much for today, and hopefully we see each other next week and the week after, till we take man into the dimension of universal community, which is the understanding of soul of himself. Thank you very much for today.
Dziękuję za wysłuchanie. To jest koniec tego warsztatu. Jeżeli chodzi o 354 warsztat, tak więc jak ktoś chciałby coś powiedzieć, to można otwierać mikrofony. Widzę, że nie ma pytań. Tak więc na dzisiaj skończymy ten warsztat. Zapraszam na kolejny warsztat w czwartek. Dzięki za przetłumaczenie tego, co słyszeliśmy dzisiaj. Życzę dobrej nocy i dużo pokoju. Tak więc do usłyszenia.
Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. Nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie, przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami, a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy i musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom. To jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni. Nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.